Hello everybody and welcome back to Ultimate Sims Guides. My name is Taylor, for those of you that don't know. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the most recent patch that went out on June 3rd to all Sims players, so be sure to update your game so you get all these really cool new features. There was a bunch of things that we already knew about because of the Eco Lifestyle live stream and because of some of the game changer content, but there are a few surprises that I was unaware of until I actually got my hands on this and read the patch notes through the first time. So the notes start out with, The Sims 4 Eco Lifestyle Expansion Pack drops in just a mere few days, and since we know that living your best eco lifestyle can take a little extra elbow grease, we've added some exciting quality of life improvements to help pave the way. And this was written by Sim Guru Jill and Sim Guru Rusky. So we have some new and improved features that we knew about. So we have the inventory updates. This says, fellow hoarders, this one's for you. We have updated the Sim inventory with the ability to filter, sort, favorite, and multi-select and multi-sell in one easy flick of the wrist. Managing that cumbersome pile of collectibles you've been racking up for the past 5 years has never been so easy. The next thing is that we have free placement of windows and doors. This one says, following in true eco-lifestyle fashion, door and window placement is now also off the grid, haha. But not that kind of grid. The limiting kind of tile grid that used to keep you from placing your windows and doors precisely where you wanted them. By holding down the Alt key while dragging, you can enjoy the smooth sensations of free door and window placement. I know that any builders out there are going to be really excited about the free placement of windows and doors. I used it for the first time today and it was incredible. Being able to center doors with stairs and have them just exactly where you want them, because you can move them even just like the tiniest little bit. And you can place on half tiles. It's just honestly one of my favorite updates that they've ever done in the game. The next thing is ladders. Ladders have been added as part of the build system. Find your free classic wooden ladder in the build category. These ladders can be placed anywhere on your lot, and like stairs, they can be used as a means for Sims to traverse from one floor to another. Now, an important note about ladders is that pets can't use them and toddlers can't use them, and you can't get anyone to actually carry a toddler up and down a ladder either, so you want to make sure that toddlers are on a main level or have access to stairs if they need to get upstairs. Something that we didn't actually know was coming is The Sims has partnered with MAC Cosmetics to bring us some new makeup. Now, anyone who makes female Sims a lot knows how honestly awful the makeup in The Sims 4, especially in the base game, is, and how unusable some of the items are. The coloring is weird, like it's just not good. So you can see in the patch notes it says, did you say you needed some fresh looks for your Sims? We've collaborated with none other than MAC Cosmetics to bring you 12 fashion-forward makeup assets suited for everything from everyday to night out glam. I went through and tried out all of this makeup on a Sim, and you can see that on screen now. It's really beautiful. These are honestly some of the best lipsticks we have in the game. One of the eyeshadows is something I'm going to use all the time. It even has like a little eyebrow highlight, so it's very much things that people would use right now in real life, so I'm pretty excited about that. The next thing in the patch notes is the Repo Person NPC. The Repo Person NPC has graduated with honors from Discover University of Brightchester with a degree in villainy and has comfortably taken up residence in base game. Now everyone can taste the wrath if bill payments fall behind. So we were given a repo person when you didn't pay your student loans in Discover University, and they have finally added that to the base game, which honestly I was kind of expecting them to do once we got the repo person. It took them 6 months, but let's not talk about that. So if you are unable to pay your bills, your water and your power will get shut off, and you will eventually get the repo person there to take some of your stuff away because, you know, they need their money. Speaking of bills, we've added a cohesive breakdown of Sims bills information that can be accessed via an interaction on the mailbox or phone. Now, instead of lumping everything together, you can see what percentage of your bills go to water, what percentage go to power, insight into any fees, reductions, or penalties, and all this and more calculated and cleanly presented for your finer understanding. This goes right along with Eco Lifestyle and how you can sell power and water back to the utility companies. So you're able to actually see how much you're using, how much you can sell, and all of that if you have Eco Lifestyle. And that's really cool, but you can still see in the base game how much power you're using, what you're spending your money on. And I think that's really cool, and it makes it feel more real. Now, a couple things that I'm really excited about that I didn't know were coming is a no trespassing option. Some people who have the Vampires game pack appreciate Vlad's antics more than others. I personally love receiving a charming visit from Vlad, and sometimes I could really use a kind compliment about my neck. But we've heard there are a select few that don't quite like having their Sims' necks bitten and motives tanked by an invasive nighttime visitor with no respect for boundaries. Keep vampires and other unwanted visitors at bay with a new no trespassing interaction we've added to the door. So this actually gives you 4 options. Obviously, the disallow vampires, which you only get if you have the vampires pack, but that is really useful because Vlad can be annoying. You also have the option to disallow your neighbors, disallow solicitors, and I believe one was disallow friends. So none of these people will just show up at your door. You'll no longer just have randos standing outside, which I think is really incredible. Speaking of unwelcome visitors, we've also added a new send home interaction that's available on visiting NPCs or as a self interaction in the case of multiple visitors. How is this interaction any different from ask to leave or go away, you might ask? Convenience. Like its less efficient predecessors, this interaction is nearly instantaneous and leaves visitors with no hurt feelings or relationship impact. We added it as a useful tool for players, not necessarily as a storytelling mechanism. I really like this send home interaction because sometimes my Sims are off sleeping and there's still people just sitting on the computer, and I don't want to wake up my Sim to bring them downstairs to get them to send somebody home or ask them to leave. So you can just click on the Sim that you want to leave and there will be a send home and they will leave immediately, and it's awesome. The next thing is build mode items grant gameplay effects. How you build on your lot can now affect your gameplay. Certain objects such as wall patterns, floor patterns, fences, and columns bring different gameplay modifiers. Some of these modifiers affect how your bills and utilities are calculated by decreasing or increasing your power or water utility production or usage, as well as increasing or decreasing the price of bills. Environment score can now be impacted by certain objects and materials. Drywall without wall patterns applied will now decrease environment score like they did in The Sims 3. The choice of floor and wall materials can also affect the ability to spread fire or puddles at an increased or lessened rate. And if you'd rather build your lot without having to think about these things, don't worry, there's an option in the gameplay menu to turn all of this off. This is something that I really like because I love when Sims get mad if you don't paint the walls. That's one of the funniest things because I sometimes would just forget and my Sim would be in a room and they'd be like, ew, this is awful. So I think that's funny. I love little things like that in The Sims. I also like how some things will be fire resistant or make more fires and all of that. I think that's hilarious. Next, of course, we are getting a firefighter NPC. Oh, hey. And speaking of fire, that reminds me. Did you hear that we've added firefighter NPCs to the game? We took nods from classic firefighter NPC behavior from The Sims, The Sims 2, and The Sims 3, and added a few small twists for The Sims 4. When a fire breaks out, firefighters will automatically come to your lot if you have a fire alarm installed. That way, if you still like to let things burn baby burn, you can just accidentally forget to place a fire alarm. It's okay, we won't tell anybody. And if you honestly did forget to place a fire alarm, you can call the fire department from the phone or by clicking on the fire itself. If the fire department is called, but there is not an active fire, they will call you on your lapse in judgment and charge you a fine. You won't be punished if there was legitimately a fire that was extinguished before they arrived, though. The firefighter uniform can be accessed in CAS and gives any Sim wearing it the fireproof buff, which gives them some extra protection against fires as well and making them more efficient at putting out fires themselves. It's worth noting that firefighter NPCs do not show up in island living Sulani. Sulani already has their local fire brigade to handle these kind of emergencies, and besides, who wants to wear all that heavy firefighter gear in the tropics? The next thing is balancing pass of phone call invitations. It says after 5 years of expansion packs, game packs, and stuff packs, our phone call invites were admittedly starting to get a little spammy. Moments after moving in, you've got Lucas Munch hitting you up, asking you to go to the Bluffs with him. Then not long after, you might have Vivian Lewis asking you to join her at the Spice Festival. Geez, let me get settled in first, why don't ya? We've done a turning pass to rebalance all of these previously competing phone invites to give you a more meaningful and holistic experience. If you have played The Sims 4 with any expansion packs for any amount of time, you know how often your Sims get phone calls and how annoying it can get. A lot of the time I'll end up putting my Sims phones on silent so that they don't actually go off as much and I don't have to deal with that. So I'm really thankful that they are trying to fix problems like this in the game that are kind of a little less important, but things that still, will improve the quality of gameplay, which I'm really excited about. And in that same vein, if you have the fitness stuff pack, they're having less invasive earbuds. So it says, in the same vein as the above balancing pass, we wanted to smooth out one of our more pressing notifications. The free earbuds pop-up that comes with fitness stuff has been changed to a more passive TNS and gives your Sims the earbuds automatically when it triggers. The days of telling the game over and over that you don't want free earbuds, or worse, hitting OK by accident, is a thing of the past. The final thing I want to talk about is the off-the-grid updates. It says, this one is tricky to list out in a single paragraph and with attempted wit, so I'll just drop off this bullet list right here. The off-the-grid lot trait now ties into our new bill updates, drawing from water and power utility. Without excess utility, lots function off the grid as they did before. With excess utility, they function more like an on-the-grid lot. There's a new off-the-grid build category that will allow players to find off-the-grid and survival-esque objects. We've done a pass on candles to ensure they properly work when electricity is out. Off-the-grid supported fridges now have an add ice interaction that will allow them to keep food preserved so long as the ice remains. Sims will now autonomously use stoves and fridges when off-the-grid and not just grills. Harvestables now grant unique buffs when consumed off-the-grid. Dogs and toddlers now have a unique interaction to be bathed in bathtubs even when off-the-grid. Objects can now be cleansed using the use elbow grease interaction. Players are able to gather water utility from fishing spots in base game. With island living, they can gather from the waterfall. Water can also be gathered from any world with swimmable ocean water. With seasons, water can be gathered from snow drifts. Off-the-grid specific buffs will now take into account motives and Sims traits when determining if a Sim should receive a positive or negative moodlet when living off the grid. We've added multiple new recipes that can be cooked while off the grid, given a Sim has a proper cooking skill level. Some recipes require special ingredients, like the boiling frog hot pot, which adds a really neat survival element to off-the-grid gameplay while providing Sims with new powerful moodlets that will help them survive in the wild. Now, I don't want to go into every single little detail of all of the things that they fixed in the game, all of the bug fixes and all of that. I know that if I do that, most of you will drop off and stop listening because it's a lot. We'd be here for a very long time. So I'm going to leave a link to the entire update patch notes in the description down below so you can read through them if you're interested, because I know that some of you won't be. They did fix a lot of things in this patch. It is a very big patch, so be sure to download it. Be sure to take your mods out so you don't have everything broken. But if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff about the new Eco Lifestyle pack that comes out on Friday, and I'm really, really excited about that. So be sure to subscribe if you're interested in any of that, or just, Sims updates and Sims how-tos and all of the other stuff that we do here. And I hope you're having an awesome day wherever you happen to be right now, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everybody.